Welcome to the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, Missouri, where the sky meets steel and history meets adventure. It is America's iconic doorway to the West. It is just after 9 in the morning. Our first stop was the boat dock to pick up our tickets for both the Arch and the Mississippi Boat Tour. Check for times so you can do them both in the same day if you're short of time. We snapped a few pictures here. The arch reflected in the calm river water. You can see the bridge stretching across the Mississippi, a reminder of how this place truly connects east and west. We continued to Gateway Arch. The closer you get, the more enormous it becomes. It's hard to believe this structure stands 630 feet tall, the tallest monument in the United States. The walk to the entrance is uphill, so take it slow. Then we head inside. The metallic curves echo softly as we walk through the museum at the base. It was hard not to stop and look. It is a sleek, modern space filled with history of pioneers, riverboats, and the building of the arch itself. We will go through the fantastic museum after our arch tour. Soon we're at the elevator entrance, tickets in hand. As we waited, the guide keeps talking.
Role in the westward expansion of the United States. Then in 1947, an association came along that held a design competition where architects from all around the world entered their designs. The winner of this competition was a Finnish-American architect by the name of Eero Saarinen, and his design was the Arch. If you guys are interested in some of the designs that were rejected and did not become the Arch, we do have a very cool exhibit in the museum displaying some of those. Now, as for the construction of the arch, that began on February 12th of 1963 and was completed just 2.5 years later on October 28th of 1965. Now, back in the mid-60s, it cost roughly $13 million just to build this stainless steel arch. That number is translated to about $200 million in 2023. However, I always like to mention that that number does not reflect the inflation price of stainless steel, so that number is definitely significantly higher than that guesstimate. Now, it's the name of our park. We weren't always known as the Gateway Arch National Park. In fact, we just recently gained national park status back in 2018. Before this, however, we were originally known as the, get ready for this, Jefferson National Expansion Memorial. It is quite a mouthful and does not roll off the tongue quite as easily as Gateway Arch National Park. But again, we gained that national park status in 2018, and during that time, we became the country's 60th national park, as well as one of the country's smallest national parks. We consist of only 91 acres of land, and that does include the old courthouse that is to the west of us as well. And now finally, as for the dimensions of the arch is 630 feet tall, but it is also 630 feet wide leg to leg. As for the shape of the arch, that is called a catenary curve, and that was chosen specifically by the architect Eero Saarinen. He had many different reasons as to why he chose that specific design, but the most prominent and probably the most important was so the arch could withstand natural disasters for generations to come. At the very top of the arch, it is designed to sway up to 18 inches, 9 inches on either side. But this will only happen during
Our tour guide gives us a quick rundown. You will ride one of the tiny trams to the top. It takes about 4 minutes up, he explains with a grin. It is a little snug, but the view is worth it. As the tram doors opened, the group coming down exited bent over as if they were coming from an egg. Looking inside, I could see it is like an egg, so I prepared myself before going in. We step into the small round capsule, like something out of a 1960s spaceship, and the doors slid shut. The tram jerks forward, clanking softly as it begins to climb inside the steel curve. John is so claustrophobic. I worry, but he kept his eyes down and traveled up like a champ. Our fellow passengers and son were mesmerized by what was going on. Each click upward reminds us of climbing through history itself. And then the doors opened. Bright light floods in. We are at the end of the tram ride. There also were more steps here, but I am a trooper. Just don't get behind me. The observation room stretches across the narrow curve at the top, with windows that angle out over the city. One side gives us an incredible view of downtown St. Louis. Bridges arching across and barges drifting slowly downstream. We take turns peering through the small windows, snapping photos, John and I grinning beside the gateway sign. We press against the glass, looking out towards the Capitol. Another one of the shimmering river far below. Our tour boat is waiting near the dock. And there's a buzz of quiet excitement. The kids laughing, cameras clicking, and everyone whispering the same word, wow.
I will. Where are the numbers?
On the side.
On the side?
Back outside, the sunlight hits the arc differently now, gleaming silver against a brilliant blue sky. From every angle, it changes shape, sometimes a thin line, sometimes a wide curve. I noticed the aluminum sheeting was rippled in some places. We stroll through the park, snapping final pictures from the grass and the reflecting pool. It seems so different in person than in pictures. The arch was so large and beautiful to behold. I felt so small beside it.
Going up,
Back outside,
top of the arch.
hits the arc.
That's where all the windows are, coming down.
From every angle, it changes shape, sometimes a In the distance, the Mississippi sparkles and the riverboat is waiting for our next adventure. The arch towers behind us, still, silent, and magnificent, a symbol of both human imagination and the American spirit to keep reaching higher. If you ever find yourself in St. Louis, don't just look at the arch, ride to the top. Feel that moment when the ground falls away and the city opens beneath you. From the river to the rooftops, it's not just a view, it's a reminder of how far we come